Welcome everyone to the Master Vox, where today we have another riveting SDL monthly tournament. First off, before this game even starts, I'd like to thank the 25% of people who watch this video who are subscribed, and I'd also like to thank the 74% of people who are watching this video who are not subscribed. It would mean the world to me if you did subscribe to this channel. And with me co-casting this wonderful game is going to be the Graham Slam. Graham, please take it away.
Yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button. All right, with that out of the way, on the left-hand side in the blue, excuse me, green, we have a Avalser. You know, I'm not colorblind, trust me. We have a Avalser playing a Spare von Kessel Maverick, and on the right we have Ghost Dragon in the red trunks playing 4th Armored Maverick as well. So we have some pretty hot, relatively new division action here for Steel Division West band.
New for us old people.
So yeah, for all the old people here, this is relatively new. Up north, the Brandenburgers already being caught out of the open by the M8 with them 50 cals. Hot action in the middle. It's pretty much going down everywhere, even down towards the southern end of the town.
Yeah, no, I'm really surprised with this central push coming out of Ghost Dragon. Like, it's looking like he might be able to get a foothold. Those M8s are just amazing for the beginning game.
Yeah, M8 spam is something I'm always conscious of when I'm picking it, especially if I'm picking second, right? And I know that someone has M8s or similar type SPW spam, right? Used to be openings, not necessarily spam. Used to be very common. And so if I was picking a German division, I would really want to make sure I had something to help mitigate them, because the 50 cals just go burr. Like, they legitimately can go burr. It's really annoying. They can snipe units, and we see these 75s open up here. Those are nasty little units for 40 points. But there is an opportunity, I think, here for Ghost Dragon in the middle. Whereas up north, a Focke-Wulf bombing Flamethrower, I mean, not really yet.
But think about this. That's a 120-point investment that's not on the front lines right now, just trying to solidify the north. So he's going to be 120 points down when it comes to those reinforcements, because we already see flamethrowers and armored LMG rifles being brought into the north as well.
Yeah, a big thing to remember is that this is Maverick on a pretty, I think, Maverick favored map, so there won't be, like, I think, if this is Maverick's balance, I would almost always favor the Maverick player on this map.
Yeah.
This one is going to kind of play out to just a weirder version of balanced on balance, right? Because the incomes are so kind of crazy. The income is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So these opening moves are going to be important, but they're not going to be quite as important as you would see, like, in the more standard matchup. But I will say, and I've always had this theory about Maverick on Maverick, is whoever is more successful in A is almost always going to win, because his income will reinforce success. Like, that 170 points is reinforcing your victory versus trying to stabilize, like, a front line or something like that.
Oh, I see. And at that point, you're just basically you're trying to deal with better trades, but you're already on the bottom foot trying to get in and re-get what you have, and you both have the same points. So,
right,
you guys understand.
Yeah, absolutely, because there's so much of 170 points.
Whoa, 240
right?
points invested in the air within the first 3 minutes. Whoa. Oh, is he going for that M8?
He's trying, but he doesn't see it there. He misses the drop right there, the firing when that was a fire position. Misses again on the Flammenwerfer. This is a mistake. It may work out. He's a great player. He's better than me. But I think that right now, at this point in the game, 2 Focke-Wulf F8s for no value whatsoever. He hasn't really done anything. They haven't achieved anything. I think units are far more important.
Yeah, and then if we look down in the far south, we're seeing this Stuart Recon just being able to suppress these Panzer Grenadiers, and we're not seeing much of any anti-tank in the availability from Avalser. He's trying to rely on these IG-18s. Their heat shells are amazing, but he's using them as actual anti-tank guns, and they can work with the light armor that's out there, but trying to get these Stuarts in this, like, yellow forests is going to be beautiful fire support.
But they're not accurate at all. You don't get a lot of rounds, right? So you might be hitting 1 of out of every 3, right?
Yeah, and you get 5 heat rounds, yeah.
There's a downside to Kessel is it doesn't have a very strong anti-tank tab, right?
Yeah.
Martyr 2, and he also plays it as his deck building is very different from, how I would have done it or Nilla would have done it, like with the Martyr 2s. Like, I always believed in vetting your Martyr 2s and Martyr 3s to fully. Like, I'll take the 2 Elite for the faster fire rate for that APCR, right? But
yeah. That, and because you need to get them in there, you need to fire them, and you need to micro them back.
Getting them out. Yeah, absolutely, right. We're trying to, like, we're really trying to get this one shell to impact to try and snipe heavier vehicles. But for the infantry tab for Avalser is better. Like, the Brandenburgers, the Hungarian infantry, I look at this deck as kind of like maybe a more modern version of Hartnett. I think they're very
Yeah,
similar.
I
in a lot
really
of
like that
regard.
comparison. Yeah, because you have the STGs and the Brandon. Wait, the Brandenburgers get STGs, right? No, it's the.
No, they don't get STGs.
So
No, they
you
get
replace the STGs
you get
with.
G43s.
Yeah, but you're replacing the STG infantry with the Brandenburgers having that TNT, and then you have
Yes,
the
right.
Hertigovs or whatever they are. Please correct me in the chat, and please, if you speak
Yeah, I don't speak
Hungarian,
Hungarian.
I know I got one of you out there watching this shit. Let me know how to pronounce that right. But they have the Molotovs. So what we're looking at with Sprova von Kessel is such an amazing infantry on infantry knife fighting division.
Yeah, and they both have pretty good medium armor, right? I mean, once upon a time, the Panzer IV-H was the best tank in the game. Once upon a time, the Sherman was. So it's cool to see like these very medium kind of heavy, medium armor divisions throwing down with each other, at least in terms of support, right? Medium armor,
Yeah.
Stugs, Panzer IVs versus the Rhino, being your base Shermans, even a card of 76 Shermans, which isn't super common in the game.
No, but I really like it just because he'll be able to fight at that 1750 range with the Stugs, especially if we're looking in the southern portion, He's already brought his M157 mill out, so just like a ZIS-2, basically, because that was like, everyone got the blueprints for that. So he's preparing himself to deal with the Martyr 2 and anything else that goes up there. But the IG-18 is going to have a fucking field day with that thing when it shoots.
Yeah, but I mean, it's got to be in the right angle, right? So it's all about angles here. Like, does it have a line of sight? Is it going to hit? And a lot of support equipment is being brought out here by Avalser. I mean, the front has stabilized. It is 12-12 here, but he did lose a significant portion of tick very early in the game, and that can matter. I would look now. It seems both players have kind of settled down. Like, there was a lot of aggression early. These small little kind of like knife fights happening, and it seems like they're now more kind of like setting up as they get ready for B-Face. M8 dying to the Martyr 2 there. Very, actually kind of risky play there because the M8 can pin that Martyr 2. Even if it had pinned it and then still died, I would consider that worth it for the M8 because then it's just one shot till death for that Martyr 2.
Fair point. And also what we're seeing is that M4-105 was taking pot shots at the IG-18. Ooh, good transport snipe with that M157. Yeah. Ooh, that's going to hurt, because what are those?
I think those were Hungarian boys, weren't it?
Yeah, that was one of the Hungarian boys. It's only 25 points, but he needs those infantry in that area.
Yeah, and then up north, the infantry fight is still going down. While there is better infantry for Avalser here, that Stuart has done some work with its LMGs. The Panzerschreck a little late to the party here. A lot of damage done to one of those squads. So you look to see the Panzerschreck to mop up that Stuart, which it should do right here.
Yeah, it just did, yeah.
But pushing this is where like the engagements will matter. The Brandenburgers will be, the Brandenburger is superior at all the different elements here. The stuff like Panzergrins, you're going to want to make sure that they're engaging in the light forest, so that way you're getting your MG42 actually involved.
Yeah, and I love seeing the Brandenburger at 3 stars. Just even though they come in base 2 stars, having that leader to give it the 3 stars suppression reduction, damage reduction, everything reduction, right? Like, we're going to see this thing just roll through these Americans.
Yeah, he can almost take all this. If there wasn't the Flamer Engineer combo, I would say he would kill everything in front of him.
Yeah.
A reinforcement drop needs to go in there for Ghost Dragon, or he needs to just cede the point. This is where the logic of this map starts to really impact. I believe if you lose the north early in the game, don't send anything else. Don't try and get back into it unless like you're trying to put your opponent away later on and you think you can do it. Shift to the middle, shift to the south. Getting back in that forest is a mistake a lot of really good players make, and typically never works out for them.
Yeah, you just have to have like a blocking position, just like an MG and then like maybe an AT gun or something there, just to like, seal it off. And the problem you run into with that is that a really, really good player will start to like creep along this edge here in the bowl and try to start pushing and putting pressure on the lower portions.
That was a great bombing run by that Focke-Wulf. That was the first time it's really paid off there. That was huge.
What did it get? I didn't see.
It got 2 infantry units, the engineer and the flame charger.
Oh yeah, no, that's a great Focke-Wulf run. And I like how he's evacing them as fast as possible just to get more bombing runs out of them, so that 240, like the 240 points he spent on his Air Force is constantly affecting the battlefield.
Yeah, this northern position's probably done. The Stu's coming up here. That should clean up the Stuart. There's a flamethrower, engineer, and LMG rifle, but these are all like the veterancy curve here will matter a lot. I think maybe one more infantry unit to support the Brandenburgers is probably enough. And honestly, Avalser could completely clean this ridge up. And that, put an anti-tank gun there if he wants to keep going. That could be annoying.
Yep.
But we do see another Focke-Wulf out, going for the southern middle town right there. There's a Stu 42 run out as well. Oh, but it's not going to get in there. Between the 50 cals and the M15s.
Yeah.
Well, cals and the regular vehicles and the M15s. Yeah, this is going to be it's going to be hard to get into the middle now.
Now, one thing I really do like is he has a really good AA network up, but at the same time, that's 85, 170, 200 something points he's put into just AA to deny Avalser his 2 Focke-Wulfs,
Yeah, but I mean, I think it kind of works out. The Focke-Wulfs, their time for easy pickings is probably over now, and they didn't quite get as much as I think you would expect. Oh, very big point dump by Avalser going to the north here. I think this is an overcommitment in points. 2 Brandenburgers and a Panzer Grenadier squad. I don't think he maybe... Yeah, it's probably a third too much. But he does have success, and a little bit of success, I think, in the middle.
Yeah.
But he's going to need to reinforce those Brandenburgers there. This is where the engagement ranges matter. Having the armored rifles engage the Brandenburgers at range, it's just, that's not going to work out typically for him. And sure, he does get the stun there, but I mean, the Brandenburgers were already damaged.
Yeah, they were already pretty stunned there. And then he has an M8 he's kind of holding in reserve, it looks like. And that can swing a lot of infantry fights with the Lord's Caliber, the great and powerful 50. Yeah. I love this smoke play from Avalser, by the way. Just being able to move your little Storm Engineer squads in.
Yeah, he's out of smoke, and he's kind of stopped them right there. I think he's worried about the M8 or maybe even the M4 seeing him, and those Brandenburgers probably should be followed back. But I think the middle will start to see the shift here for Avalser, whereas south looks to be where Ghost Dragon wants to go. And I don't dislike that fully. He has a larger amount of units. The problem with the southern push for me, especially from Ghost Dragon's perspective, is there's not many flags to get left. That he can get, unless he breaks them, right? He's got to break them and get into that rear line there. So I'd be a little worried about how many points he's investing there, because I'm just not sure where they're going to go.
There goes the Stuart. And the one thing I realized when I was younger in SD2, I would try to use an armored or a Panzer Grenadier division. I'd push the south and I'd push it real hard, and then I'd realize oh wait, none of the flags are here, Yeah,
I mean, he has morphed the flag a little bit here, but it's also kind of tell him where that armored rifle is. So we do see the Focke-Wulf going for the snipe here on the 50 cal. If he can get it, that'd be a very nice pick. And he does.
That was a good pick, yeah. It looks like he's going not into the central town, but the southern central town with all these armored rifles. Unless he's going to try to make a massive breakthrough with these. Oh, he's trying to make a massive breakthrough. But that Panzer IV is going to hurt.
Big. Yeah, he's trying to go for, I think, a complete break in there, shift that portion of the map, maybe force an overcommitment out of Avalser, and then he can go mid.
Yep.
This is a high-risk play here that I don't think he needs to make. I think he'd be much better off just investing this in the middle, engage in the grind. He's got a lot of strength. His M18s, if he plays them right, will be extremely annoying to deal with, though this isn't really heavy for them to snipe, which is fine. But we do see this Panzer IV here. This right here could already start to slow it down. That Sherman's
the Panzer IV engages the Stuart because it has an armor value, and then that lets the armored rifles Bard get in there and do the Lord's work with a bazooka.
Yeah, that was a very nice pick for him. The Stuga's in danger too. There's another Panzer IV being rushed up. Oh, that's going towards the middle. Some infantry being diverted here. I think some Brandenburgers would really help kind of lock this down, as we see the Stug 4 and the M4 engage, and the Stug will most likely win this fight. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's 110. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, we have that 57 firing, and the 57s normally, they get kills on stuff they shouldn't get kills on.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the range might be a little far.
Yeah.
For the 57 here, but I've seen worse.
Yep, we got a driver.
Yeah, driver knocked out. Yeah, and so we do see the IG-18 there.
Oh, pen.
There's a pen. Yeah, I think he's definitely playing with fire now, especially post pin. Once the first pin would happen, I would have backed it up. He might still be fine, but he gets the ball back, so he will barely win that fight right there. That was very close. That could have gone either way, I think.
Yeah, now we're seeing this Stuart Recon just unload into the Panzergrenz. And the one good thing about American Stuarts is the fact they have 3 LMGs compared to the Honey Stuarts having 2. So
Yes, yeah.
American Stuarts for the same 30 points, I think are still better for infantry support just because they have that additional pinning.
Eugen hates the British.
I mean, they are French, so it kind of makes...
Oh, yeah.
It checks out. It's an old code, but it checks out.
Yeah, and we do see here Avalser, by, the shift of resources down south has definitely sapped him of the momentum he had in the middle.
Yeah.
And now Ghost Dragon, I think, is trying to take advantage of that. But I don't know if he has quite enough. Like, it's going to be... The Stu there will kind of lock it down. He hasn't... Excuse me. He hasn't repaired his M4. But he has created chaos. And sometimes that's just what you need a little bit. Maybe get a little uncertainty in here. Now, this armored rifle bar... and towards the middle, on the middle hill, if you can snipe the Stug 4 here, that would be big.
It needs to snipe.
Comes in.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, it needs to snipe that Stug 4, or in all honesty, that Stug 42. If he can take that out, that'd be so much more of an impact on the battlefield. That support weapon,
Yeah. Yeah, the Stug 42 can be disgusting and used in the right situations. More Brandenburgers coming in here, and Brandenburger Pioneers, so a lot of the elite infantry for Speer von Kessel being committed, which, there's a lot of really good options in Speer von Kessel. The problem is depth can become a little bit of an issue.
Yeah.
Now, I think against 4th Armored, that's not going to be too much of a problem, but it could possibly be an issue depending on how long the game goes.
That's a fair point. And if we look in the center town, right, what we see is a Stu 42 killing that other 57 mil. So now what we're looking at here is only 2 Hellcats being... Well, 2 Hellcats are an amazing anti-tank option, but we're seeing Kessel pushing right now, even with no reinforcements continuously pushing in, versus when we look at Ghost Dragon, he does have support weapons set up, but he's also pretty much exclusively pushing in the south. Like, that's where his reinforcements are going.
Yeah, and this 7 push is going to start, I think, coming to an end here. Maybe not fully, and this might be the beginning of it, but it's going to be very hard for the American infantry to deal with these elite specialized troops, right? Brandenburger Pioneers. He's outside of his AA range, so these Focke-Wulfs are going to get more damage here. It's why I thought this was a very high risk, maybe not sure if it had a high reward to it, because all this hasn't given him any tick, right?
Yeah.
So at the minimum, what this has really done is cause some inconvenience for Avalser. And maybe if the infantry trades were heavily in his favor, I would like it more. But at this point in time, I don't see... Once this is cleaned up, because I think this is getting cleaned up, I don't see how Avalser loses this fight now. I mean, Panzergrenz firing in the open, Brandenburg Pioneers rolling around inside the forest line. We have a Pack 40 and another MG42 coming in. I think it's almost an overcommitment by Avalser.
That is kind of true.
But I don't see how this ends up working out for him. If anything, this front might get ruptured, and these tanks are going to have to really do some heavy lifting on the backside.
Yeah, those 2 Hellcats, or no, that's one M4176. Yeah.
So I love the 76 Sherman though. I think the model looks great. That's one of my favorite tanks.
Oh yeah, look at that sexy beast with those sandbags still
cool
on it. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get to use it very often. There's not many divs that have it, and most of the divs that have it, I mean, the ones coming to mind, South Africa and Blende, they're really not that good.
You get them in 3rd Armor too, but yeah, same concept. Like, none of these are like meta divisions just because of how armor focused and armor centric they are. P-47 coming in, killing those Panzer Grenadiers that have been giving him trouble, but at the same time, like, I think that P-47 could have been used to better influence an infantry fight that he was going to lose with the Brandenburgers, like you see here with the armored rifles bar fighting the Brandenburgers. Get in there, bomb it, use that support equipment. America runs on support equipment and Duncan, so there's that.
Oh, and there goes the Stug actually trading out the Hellcat is huge, because that Stug had been pinned. So getting the kill on the Hellcat already being pinned is actually really big, and those are small little things that, like, you as the viewer, especially if you're new to SC2, hard to remember. If your tank's been pinned, essentially just treat it like it's one shot away from death. So anything it gets any kill it gets after that, I always view as valuable. We see the Stu 42 engaging the M41 76 right there. I would favor definitely the 76.
Brandenburger snipe from that 76.
And a snipe that was really nice.
Oh.
And the M1 gun getting put up here on the hill line. But no, never mind.
Oh no! Oh god! That Stu 42 is doing the Lord's work over there, holding down that entire front. But at the same time, you're right. Like, we are seeing that rupture happen And there's 2 flags that are completely at jeopardy right now that Ghost Dragon did have pretty well in control with that push that he did.
Even before the push, I think he had those flags pretty, like, he could have held those flags without too much of an investment. And we do see, like, that's why up north it's getting a little, he's trying, Avalser doing a little, some shenanigans, and we see armor having to be used to kind of dissuade it. Because I think the infantry fights have gone very heavily in Avalser's favor. And that's why I said, like, while there is a little more depth in the infantry tab for Ghost Dragon, if you take bad fights with this American infantry, these elite German troops are just going to eat it up. It's like a Golden Corral buffet.
Yeah, just because of how amazing they are with their TNT, even with the Hungarians with their Molotovs. It's just such good infantry, especially in close quarters. With the Brandenburgers having the TNT, 4 MP40s, and G43s, that semi-auto makes a big difference compared to some people with just like KR98s.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why A phase was really important here for Ghost Dragon, because using those light armor vehicles to just snipe units, be annoying, get the 50 cal damage in, right? Like really use your light vehicles and your support equipment superiority to give yourself an edge. Because now as this game's really entering its middle portion, we're out of B, so both players are as strong as they're going to get on the map. I always like to do this, zoom out a little bit. We'll look at the respective strengths at the end of the Maverick phase, and looks to me Avalser is in a stronger position across the board, without a doubt.
I agree. Yeah, if you look up north, he has a large pool of infantry forces along that front line with an IG covering the back. You remember what I was talking about with that really good player will move down that portion from the north, and that's what he did with these Brandenburgers, and now he has pressure on this flag that he should have no business having pressure on,
Absolutely, and he's forcing a command Sherman and a 105 Sherman to be spent up north for no gain. There's really no value those 2 units are providing, except ensuring a flag doesn't fall, and that's just never good enough. And we do see these, these Stuarts down south can be really annoying. They're gonna cut these Brandenburgers down, but once these Martyr 2s and these Stews decide to kind of commit, that could be very hard to deal with as well. Now, there is a big boy 155 off map coming in here, and that's going to drop in the middle, but I kind of worry maybe that's too late.
I think that this 155 off map will determine the game if he can push through, because he's got Hellcats, right? So he can zoom real quick. Yeah, but if you can push that Hellcat through, you can force all this the surrenders. Because we all know when there's an off map, it instantly kills the officer there, right? It's just a magnet.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the Hellcat's going to have to go vroom vroom. There are Shermans, there are Pack 40s in the back line. There are still Focke-Wulfs that can be used. I mean, Avalser clearly knows he's ahead. He's bought a Vespa. When was the last time you even saw one of those used in a 1v1? I mean, look, maybe maybe something's changed with the SPGs that I don't know about, but no one ever brought that back in my day. It's the old grandpa version of SD2. I mean, the only time you saw it was maybe you were on Sedilse and someone had Hummels.
Oh god! Even casting, I don't remember really seeing Vespas being used. It's mostly when I play 10v10s, people just have batteries of them.
Right, and they have their own little battery commander in the 10v10 with his Vespas or his Hummels. Yeah, so that tells me all I need to know about how Avalser feels about his own position. And what's crazy to me is think of all the infantry that was spent down south that has now failed, right? That assault failed down south, and that was at least 200 points with infantry. Imagine if he had held it, because he clearly wasn't getting pushed that hard, held it and then used the 155 off map somewhere. And then he floods that zone with that infantry. That's so much more effective.
Yeah, I honestly agree.
Which is a good off map. The 155 piece is good, but there's not a lot of infantry here. There's only a few infantry units. We do have some Shermans and some Hellcats.
Brandenburger down.
The officer's still alive.
Oh god, this is the caster's curse right here. Because every single time I see these off maps go off, it always whacks the officer.
Ooh, the Martyr 2 might die to the 51 mil. Oh no, it gets the miss, and then the shot there by the Panzer Grenadier saves that. And then this push is already stagnated. The armored rifles are a little too far back from the timing here, so while they will push up and take a better position, it's going to require a follow-up drop to have a chance of actually succeeding. And those armored rifles, if they don't dismount now, they're also going to get hit by the Brandenburg Pioneers. Yeah, look at the
flames. They're already hitting it. Yep. Oh.
They're acting like they're a nom right here. Oh,
reverse nom.
Just up. Yeah, that dude was like, I was in Stalingrad, bro. You don't even fucking know.
Yep. And then if we look here, yeah, whatever like pokes its head out to this line is just gonna get obliterated.
He needs to nuke the line with the off map. The off map needs to nuke that forward line.
Yep. Brandenburger's down, so now that one flag is no longer under threat.
Don't stop the double tick, but I think the damage has already been done here.
I agree.
Ghost Dragon's momentum is gone. The off map's gonna have to really hard carry here, and that last strike didn't do much. So this is a very good spot, especially if this stuff kind of stays roughly here for the next 30 seconds. But there's too much firepower still. I mean, we have a 105 and a command Sherman still just holding the northern position.
Yeah.
The southern position is basically being held open by Avalser's own cautiousness, probably.
I could see that. Yeah, like he's sacrificing his natural flag below the southern town, like in the south, right? So we have Avalser taking these two flags. I mean, he does deserve them. He did win that fair and square, right? But what we're seeing also is Ghost Dragon pushing in an area that doesn't have a flag. He needs to stop this tick.
Oh, right, absolutely. The longer this goes on, the worse it is for him. But especially something to remember when you're playing divisions that have, like when you're in C phase and you bring C phase card in Maverick, if your infantry in C phase costs 30 points, I get this may be like, oh wow, you know, Graham, this is basic math. If they cost 30, you're only bringing 2 each minute. You're not bringing a lot. So you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like that gets to a point where like it's hard to reinforce success and it's hard to stabilize failure.
You're on a knife edge on C as a Maverick player.
Yeah, which is why like decks that if you could bring a 20-point infantry unit or a 25-point infantry unit in C phase, right? Those are typically some of your better Maverick decks if you have to go longer.
Oh, bounce on the Stug 4?
Continue. Yeah, the Stug, yeah.
Oh yeah, that Sherman's gone. Oh.
Yeah, that Sherman's gone. The Panzer IV is back in action. He is dropping another one because this 155 does get 3 charges. The Americans... Hey, this might get a lot of kills. Everything's very damaged. It's very possible that this off-map does change that, but I'm not sure in best case scenario here how that wins him the game anymore. Though the leader did die, so the possibility...
So we got that off-map going on real quick down south. Yeah. The Stuart got killed by a Panzer Shrek, and the Stu 42 is crew killed by the M18 Hellcat. So now we get to go to the... Oh, Panzer IV down from the off-map.
Yeah, this is the game actually kind of here. I think you're witnessing the decisive moment of Avalser trying to hold his lead, Ghost Dragon trying to get himself back into a winning position. Stu 4 dies as well. So okay, there's a big moment here.
We got the infantry going in.
The Pack 40 is still alive though. There's a Panzer Grenadier squad with 1 HP on the backside. The Vespa shelling way too slow because it's Garbo.
Yeah.
We do see the armored rifles here. The Maverick Pioneers will be important. It's keeping alive. It's back in action, dropping its flames. The Panzer Grenadier is back online here too. So we see the Brandenburg Pioneer is going to get the flame shot here because it's going to cause the movement of the armored rifle. And yeah, so none of this infantry is getting surrendered. That already is a negative for him.
Yep.
The MG-42 is fully back in action, though he might be able
Pack 40 down. Pack 40 down.
Yeah, Pack 40 down. That's big. Everything else is basically quiet. Both players are their attention's fully here. A smoke on the Panzer Grenadier would be smart, I think, by Avalser here, as the Stuart tries to come up, but there's really not much here. He needs a point dump, but there's no points being called. He called on SCKFZ down south. Ooh, there is a moment here. That's an expensive buy. That's 2 turns, essentially, a turn and a half, or a minute, turn. A minute and a half worth of income. Spent down south along with the Panzer Grenadier squad. So actually altogether, that's basically 2 minutes of income. Only 2 Panzer Grins, base Panzer Grins, no Panzerfaust being sent forward. There's an opportunity here, but Ghost Dragon has to seize it. Like, he has to go.
And I think, honestly, the Stuart's what's going to carry him if it does work. Just because, again, those 3 30 cals,
This Panzer Shrek might be, pretty clutch here. This is a very big moment. At the same time, if you're a Avalser, you need to push south. Ghost Dragon is getting double tick because he hasn't secured the flags, and also long term, the northern position is really hurting him now. But if he could get onto the edge and threaten the back line with his Hellcats firing into the reinforcement line.
Oh, that Panzer Shrek. Oh, there goes the Stuart.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just throwing shit against the wall right now, and I understand. Like with this position,
he has to.
You have to.
There is a moment still. But it's slowly going away. The push hasn't been handled that successfully. I think it's been a little uncoordinated. These rifles need to drop. The that Panzerschreck sniping
What?
the Stuart would be huge. If he could snipe the Stuart, the Panzerschreck,
Yep.
that would be massive for him.
And those
He needs to kill the MG42
yep,
team
the
here.
rifles
the
late.
Panzer
Yep.
will reinforce. And the Pioneers still being alive are really annoying.
Yeah.
But it is back 13-11. The southern flag was reclaimed due to a P-47 bomb drop. But I think that if Avalser just continues pushing there, he could get that back right away, and it's back to a 13-11.
Yep.
The Panzerschreck died, and the Stuart's still alive. So the Hellcats need to go forward. I don't understand why the armor is in the back. The armor needs to be fully up front here because he could triple team this Panzer IV-H. You know, get a little train roll or something, right? Like get some hot action going on here because this is costing him the game, I think.
Yeah, and that and keeping that Sherman in the back when he needs that armor right now to hold that flag instead of just moving their armored rifles bar up. Like he needs to move his armor. Just
because
flex.
this Panzer IV-H, there it goes. It's going now. Better late than never. The Focke-Wulf dropping on top of the Stuart gets the kill on the Stuart. So the Panzer IV-H here, he can climb this hill. Is he damaged though?
Oh.
No, I don't think so. No. So so it's a full health Panzer IV-H. He needs some more infantry. There's a Stuk 3G coming. But yeah, this is what I wanted to see. Here come the Hellcats. If they can get the right angle here, they can two-tap this Panzer IV-H here and then engage this Stuk on the road. Oh yeah, and those instantly the 50 cals.
Beautiful 50 cals.
5 German suppressing the Pack 40.
Oh, Stuk 3 getting a Hellcat kill.
Huge kill by the Stuk 3.
Oh, both killed. Oh,
both dead there. Yeah, bad engagement took there. They were busy shooting at those Panzer Grenadiers. The Stuk getting an amazing 2 hits back to back on those Hellcats, and that might be enough. I don't know. It's gonna be hard. The Stuk engaging here. The 75. The 75's gonna have a hard time killing the Stuk at this range. That's about what, roughly 1,200 meters. Yeah, Ghost Dragon surrenders.
Yep.
That was the game.
That was 100 points difference between the KD. That is absolutely mind-blowing. But that was such a great game between the two players.
Yeah, extremely close game. Very competitive. There were moments in time where both players clearly had the ability to win that game, and it just came down to some very small decisions. You know, it looks like when we're casting it, like, hey, look, he hasn't moved these yet. I have God vision. I can see everything, and I can judge from that perspective. But for the player, you're microing the entire width of the map. You're trying to ensure that you're not losing units necessarily, and it's very easy to lose some of the timing aspects in a game like that. Whoever's going to be more consistent with that is going to win.
Yeah, and I think that if you look at the chronology around the 18-minute mark, that's where we see a massive swing of Kessel kills, right? Like pockets of Kessel kills. And then, but at the same time, like you go further down, like it is a good, even match as the KD shows us. So great game to both players.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very great game. Extremely competitive. It went down to the wire. Both players, even in the last few moments, I think had the ability to win that game. And that you can't ask for anything better to cast and put on YouTube for all the new subscribers.
Yeah, I hope to flip that 74% around. You know, let's see some 74% subscribers and 25%, you know, not subscribed. Right. But I want to thank everyone who's made it this far. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. It means the world for both me and Graham here.
Hot.
Yes. And with that, we'll see you guys in the next cast. Bye, y'all.